What's going on, everybody? It's Faith Dating Coach Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to make a guy regret losing you, regret leaving you, regret pulling away, whatever it is, a majority of the time. Now, of course, I can't say every time because anyone who makes that claim is crazier. They're nuttier than squirrel shit. They're lying to you. They just want your views. However, I do believe the thing I'm about to tell you is the number one thing you need to do that needs to be there, that is necessary for a guy to reflect and regret losing you. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is you have to understand why, and I say this in all my videos, I apologize, but you have to understand why a guy is pulling away in the first place. He has this narrative in his head that his life is better with you out of it than within it. That the decision he has with, decision he made with being with you is not as good as the narrative, or I guess image he has in his mind of what else is out there, what else I could do. Maybe not even what else is out there, like a specific woman, but just the lifestyle of I can go do as I please. We're not arguing as much. It's not, this is taking too much effort. Maybe you're in a long distance relationship and which you can make those work. I'm saying it's just really hard and I'm not in the mindset right now. He just doesn't like something about the situation he's in. So he has this narrative in his head that he wants to do something else. Now, with that being said, the number one thing you need to do, logically, is to change his reality. Change his mindset that, well, homie, that's actually not the case. And what makes men very comfortable coming and going is several things, or I guess making the decision to pull out and do his own thing is several things. The first thing is what I call the evidence up to this point, meaning all the things you guys are doing and saying, the letting him come and go, giving him more chances or power than he deserves, him controlling the relationship, you showing you ain't talking to anyone else or going anywhere or giving him a million chances, whatever it is, him making every mistake in the book, but you're still giving him access to your time, you saying one thing but then not holding your ground, or you saying one thing and you're still letting him hit it outside of a relationship or outside of dating, whatever it is. These are all signs that to a man, you're not fucking going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So the risk of him losing you or regretting his decision is very small. So he can go out and do his thing after having this, again, narrative that, hey, well, this isn't necessarily that bad because I'm unsure about her or the situation we're in. And I'm really curious what is happening out here or elsewhere, but it's not really that big of a chance because I know she fucking wants me. I know she's digging me. I know she isn't going anywhere. We've done this before, and I've came back 4 or 5 different times, so I'm good. So that's the first thing. The second thing is what I call the cost. I just had a client today who was a great woman. She has a good heart. She has a good head on her shoulders. She means well, but she has a lot of, I guess, personal, like just ego and other things that are kind of sabotaging the relationship. I'm not saying it's her, it's also him, it's both sides. But there's a lot of times where, and I told her this, so I'm not saying anything, I wouldn't tell her, but she's making, what's that saying, mountains out of molehills or something like that. She's blowing things up that just aren't worth it. And I told her exactly, because she told me her whole scenario. That's how my sessions work. If you want one with me, link down below. But we were talking about it, and I told her that here's the problem with him. Here's why he's not completely leaving, but then he ends up leaving. It's because he does like you. I truly believe he's genuine in the things that he is saying. I do think there's authenticity. You guys have been dating for 7-8 months. Like, he does like you. The problem is the cost that comes with it. So if there's a lot of ups and downs, if there's a lot of fighting, which all relationships have ups and downs, but if there's a lot of it, like bipolar shit, and there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of, again, just what I call the cost, the liabilities that come along with it, a man starts to reflect on it and he thinks it's not worth it, and he looks for something that's a little easier to his lifestyle or more resourceful, right? So when it comes to regret, ladies, I never want to say change yourself for a man, so I'm not going to go down that path. Part of me was going to be like, well, you got to limit liabilities and increase assets, and that's true, but that's true in the grand scheme of things. Everyone should be doing that. I don't want to make it sound like, well, you need to straighten up. No, I mean, the guy's a fucking idiot too. Like, I understand that. The guys are dumb, right? I've been making videos about them for 10 years. I know. I used to be one of them. But there's several things I think a woman needs to do first. And the first thing I always say, if you want to make a guy regret losing you, is he actually has to believe that you're gone. And the way you do this is you actually follow through, consistent and long-term, follow through with no contact. Now, when I tell women to do this, I want no contact, and I want the thing I'm telling you to be the final straw. Because I'm not about playing games. I know I talk about a lot of this stuff in my videos, games, to do this and be cold and bad and whatever, but communication, you all probably agree with me, communication is key. Communication is everything in a relationship. I was telling this client, and I tell all my clients, you can really tell if a relationship's going to last. You can tell if a guy truly likes you by the solutions that are put on the table from both partners, from the relationship. If one side is only making solutions, or if no one's making solutions and it's always egos involved, or this or that, or animosity, or someone trying to overtake someone or overpower someone or not get the short end of the relationship's not going to last. Both people need to come up with solutions to make the relationship work, right? Now, it's when you do this and two things happen. One, you're the only one coming up with solutions, or two, you're coming up with solutions and he's coming up with solutions and you guys kind of agree to it, but it doesn't follow, like no one follows through, or next week he goes off to doing the same bullshit he was doing that made you mad in the first place. Then you need to be like, okay, again, you can only give a guy so many chances of doing that, and then you're like, okay, I'm done. You need to be done with it and follow through the fact that, hey, you're not just going to come back like you think you are, okay? That's the first thing. Now, when you do that, the second thing I tell women that you need to do is you need to win the breakup. Like I said, men are very evidence-based. We create these narratives in our head based off what women present us. So if you're showing that you're whipped and you ain't fucking going anywhere, well then there's no urgency, there's no threat in me returning. You're not going anywhere. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to treat you as an insurance policy. Now, when I say this, I know that sounds harsh. I'm not saying this is all guys. I'm saying in these situations. Like if a guy's unsure about you and he wants to see what else is out there, but he's still keeping tabs or coming back, I can tell the guy is unsure about you, but he does like the assets you offer. He just doesn't want to pay the cost, so you're a backup plan. You're an insurance policy. And a woman needs to show, nah, that's not happening. You need to win the breakup, meaning you ain't talking to him, you ain't posting sappy shit, you need to get back on the apps. Even if you're not talking to anybody on the apps, just get back on the apps, because he is on the apps. Newsflash, the guy you're talking to is on the apps. Let him see you and let him know that, or show, I guess, subconsciously or subliminally that, hey, I'm not sitting around and waiting, dude. Like I'm not sitting around and waiting. I'm a high value woman. If he is on the apps and you're not, you already lost. But Elliot, I don't like the apps. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. No one, I'm not asking you what you like. I'm asking you, or I'm telling you what works, right? I'm telling you what works. If you're talking, it's just logic. If you're talking to a guy, ladies, who left you, it's not the other way around. He left you, and you want him to regret it, but you're not on the apps, and he's swiping right on everything that walks, right? He might even have a beard. No judgment. It is what it is. An Adam's apple. Again, no judgment. I love everybody. But if he's swiping right on everything that walks, and you're like, I want to make this guy jealous, good luck, because someone else has his attention. At least you can get on there and show him that, hey, I'm not just waiting around, dude. Like when I say I'm done, I'm done. That's the problem. No man is convinced. Two reasons why. No woman follows through with it. She kind of lets a man lurk and do his thing, and she like breadcrumbs him, which it's not really breadcrumbing. You're like, that's what the guy wants. And two, she doesn't have this perception of winning the breakup. She's silent, she's this, she's that, she's worrying, she's anxious, she's in her head, she's watching dating coach videos, yours truly, wondering when he's gonna come back, watching shit like this. And then she wonders why it's not working out, right? She wonders why it's not working out. And then the third thing, of course, is when a guy does come back, ladies, say in all my videos, you gotta follow through. You're not just allowed back in. Right? You're not, and I have a list right here. This is from my last video, but I always say you shouldn't answer him right away when he comes back. When he does eventually, and you do answer him, you got to call him out. Then you got to make him sweat a little bit. It's like, okay, I called you out. He might think he's getting in, he's weaseling his way back in, but no, you got to make the guy sweat more. Don't cave in, and then of course at the end you got to ask him when you eventually do cave in. I'm not saying you do, but if you do want to give it another shot, let's say the guy's begging, you got to start asking questions. How do I know you're not going to do this shit again? I thought things were great, and you're pulling this bullshit. I know you haven't changed. People don't change that fast. Why should I give you another chance? Whatever. And if he gaslights you, man, see, this is the problem. You got all these questions. I'm trying to make it work, and you're doing all. Nah, don't fall for it. Say, nah, you're not ready, bro. You're not ready, man. Right? And tell him to take a fucking hike. But if you want to get a guy to regret losing you, ladies, you got to follow through. You got to win the breakup, okay? And you cannot let a man just back in anytime he wants. That's not how it works. You have to change a mind. I guess one of the things was you have to change a guy's narrative. You have to change his reality. If he is doing this shit in the first place, it's because he feels it's okay to do so. And two reasons why. One, you're letting him, and two, he feels it's better, it's worth the risk. You got to nip that in the ass, okay? That being said, if you want to work with yours truly, links down below, one-on-one session, hour long, you and me, we'll dive deep into your situation. Or if you want to get my guides, I have 9 guides for the price of 1 down below. Talks about everything in my all my material. Love you guys. Take care and peace.